In my pre-adolescent years, that time that, according to experts, goes from 8 to 11 years old, in which boys are half-armed because some parts of our bodies grow faster than others, we question everything. We want to find out the world in 10 minutes, and we pay little attention to almost no one. In those days, they accused me of being a rebel without a cause. I remember having attended more than one retreat for insurgents and questioners, and in several of those meetings, I heard an instructor from whom I learned a lot summarize what was happening in the world in those days, which was some time ago, and said that human beings are profoundly social subjects and that far from being isolated atoms, each one of us, in some way, is part of the others, and we are all interconnected through more complex structures that are summarized in what we call society. Well, the instructor said that precisely because we are not isolated atoms, when one or more fail, the system suffers and weakens. That's why he wanted to teach me to be a functional atom and a positive force in the world that I had to grow up with. That instructor would ask you today, how do you feel when your major, your representative, the banker, your doctor, your boss, your partner, the priest, your pastor, the mechanic, your president, fails you? What happens when idiots and tyrants or criminals are the rulers? And how bad can things get if one of these idiots is also a criminal and a tyrant? Why it is so important to be present, active, responsible, demanding atoms? Should we humbly acknowledge that human beings are imperfect, fallible, inaccurate, insecure? Tolstoy said at the end of the 19th century that everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. The profile and behavior of today's protagonists in politics, banking, and other dimensions of life, from whom we receive, for better or worse, the consequences of what we do or what we allow, give us a clear idea of why today we are as we are. As life is a matter of balances, given the results, we must recognize that we live in a pre-adolescent world, which will take many miles and many suns and moons to reach the long-awaited maturity, where respect, decency, solidarity, and the most rigorous observance of the values that can build the free, humane, modern, and civilized world that we desire. When do we start? Suscríbete y nos ayudas a defender y a promover los valores de la libertad.